Marvin Jackson here at Rams Head in Annapolis. I am with Lizz Wright, who I think may one day be known as one of the great popular singers of her generation. Thanks for joining us, Liz.
It's great to be here, Marvin. Thanks for having me.
All right, now talk about who Lizz Wright is. I know you were born in a small town in Georgia, and is that the same person? Talk about that story of where you came from and who you are now.
Well, I was born in Hayhire, Georgia. It's a little town in like Midland, Georgia, that's right above the Florida state line, so not too far from Jacksonville, maybe a couple of hours. And so, you know, plenty of like swampland, farmland, good eating, you know, more churches than bars, that kind of environment. Everybody sings, that kind of thing. And I grew up in a family where literally everyone sang. And most people know that my father is a minister. He's been a pastor for most of my upbringing. And so, you know, that was much like running a small farm. Everybody was a hand, you know, on deck.
Yes, you have to do that, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So I learned how to do a lot of things that were just needed. So Dad kind of grew his village up, you know. There were 3 of us. But, yeah, whatever you had, skill or inclination, was put to work pretty quickly.
There was a boy, a very strange, enchanted boy. They say he wandered far over many lands and seas, and he was very shy and sad of eye, very wise was he. Then one summer day, he passed my way, and while we spoke of many things, fools and kings, this he said to me. He said, the greatest thing you will ever learn is just to love and to be loved in return.
My brother and sister sing also. They're great singers. They've chosen to do other things, but they're wonderful singers, and I sang with my family all the time. And my dad had these things called family devotion, and you know, I don't understand why he wanted to have church so much, because we'd go to church, we'd come home and have family devotion, which was, we'd sing hymns in harmony, and he would read Bible stories and give us lines, and we were characters. And so he even made my mom play along, and she was the most patient wife I've ever heard of. But now that I'm older, I kind of get it, you know, and so I know all the hymns, and just, you know, really, I've really been steeped in a tradition of storytelling, you know, between him being a minister, and he read a lot of Shakespeare, and he read like folk tales from slavery. They're full of magic and danger and humor.
Exciting, actually, yeah.
Yeah. So all of that informs, you know, who I am now. In some regards, I've really not changed very much at all.
You're a storyteller still.
Yes,
right?
yeah.
They stretch wide to receive heaven's holy light, and her roots, they go down deep in the earth. Say maybe she is just a morning glory, lost in this tangle of vine.
So my mom is difficult to describe. On paper, I suppose you could say she was a housewife, but my mom was like the light and the meaning, you know, in our family. Like she was really like the heart. She has bright eyes full of wonder. She still looks like a child in her face. She's a very, very wise, disarmingly gentle and curious, and she's just very discerning. But she's very, it kind of sneaks upon you because she's very gentle and like I said, inquisitive. So she is just a real magical person, and she is a very devoted mom. She never gives up on her children. She's always excited, and she was willing to play with us when we were kids. She really played, and her sense of humor and wit has been a remarkable force in our family. My father is just, you know, with military experience and just how he was raised, also running a big farm for his father, had a real sense of structure. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And only the travelers, only they see her. To those who rise up with a noonday sun, she is a closed mystery. Maybe she is just a morning glory, lost in this tangle of vine. Hey, maybe she is a morning glory, lost in this tangle of vine. Lost in this tangle, lost in this tangle of vine. Thank you so much.
What is your style? What is Lizz Wright's style? Because you do so many different things.
Well, you know better than I do, Marvin, that a lot of these styles that are in the hybrid of what I do, you know, where they come from in, you know, culturally and historically, those places intersect naturally. So it's very interesting that, like, we have an industry that is so profitable, that, you know, is built on people being easy to describe. I mean, it's really about being able to sell something and to be able to, you know, encapsulate it with a few words. It is really all about that convenience. But other than that, people are all crossovers of something else. You know, we just might be behind with coming up with new categories. I mean, listen to, like, you know, Laura Mvula. Like, she has an incredible classical influence, you know, jazz and singer-songwriter stuff. And, you know, Cecile McLaurin-Salvant, she's, you know, going as a jazz singer and absolutely deserves that. She has an extraordinary instrument and has done beautiful homework. But she's doing, like, you know, beautiful stuff from, you know, the theater and the standards, and she's writing, you know, and she's a visual artist. So it's like, perhaps there are new categories, you know, and we're just behind with giving them names. You know, for me, I write a lot of, you know, I write essays as a hobby, but also to try to describe where my head is. And so that has to do with looking at the landscape. you know, and making a commitment to see the whole shape of your influences, you know. And so I don't really know how to narrow down for people. I can focus on a project, but every record is a whole composition of influences, and everyone's is actually. It's just, I don't know. What comes out is a representation of what has come in. And I would think that if thousands of people, they can come up with what it is. I'm just on a journey of learning.
All right, well, we're going to learn more about Lizz Wright when we come back. So stay tuned. We'll be right back with Lizz Wright.